RiverPitch is proudly supported by ACS and River City Labs.
Hello and welcome to the first elimination round of RiverPitch. Over the past few weeks, we've heard some fantastic pitches from some truly innovative businesses and have had some memorable personalities show us how they plan to change the world with their tech business. Tonight, we will be welcoming back our 4 winners from the Brisbane round of pitches, with 2 of the 4 going through to the finale tonight. Judging them tonight are Johan Ramasundra, the president of ACS. Next to him, we have Siobhan Hayden, COO of Hashching, Andrew Johnston, the CEO of ACS, and our mentor from the Brisbane round, investor and entrepreneur, Stephen Baxter. So let's get straight into it with our first contestant, James from Cordera.
I actually left clinical medicine. I was a doctor working in the hospital, and I've left that behind to make Cordera a reality. So it's been 3 years out in startup land after 10 years of getting ready to be a doctor. It was a conversation I had with my co-founder, Chris, when he was explaining to me the difficulties he was having getting hearing tests while he was working in the ENT department out in Ipswich Hospital. And he had an idea for a device that would make that hearing test easier. And I'm really passionate about music. My 2 great passions are medicine and music. And when he started talking about changing the way people do hearing tests and giving back a quality of life to people, it just really gripped me, and I wasn't able to shake it. So much so that we started the company, built the device and launched it 12 months later.
Hi everyone, my name's James Fielding. I'm the founder and CEO of Cordera. At Cordera, we have headphones with a built-in hearing test. You put the headphones on, you do the hearing test, we show you the result, and then we use that result to tailor the sound so it's perfect for how you actually hear. We translated our medical technology into the consumer space so that all people can understand the importance of their hearing health, and all people can have a world-class entertainment experience regardless of their hearing ability. We launched our platform on Kickstarter, and in the last 12 months have shipped to 60 countries, launched in Amazon worldwide, launched in JD.com in China, and established retail partnerships in the audiology sector in Australia and Canada. We're registered with the National Disability Insurance Scheme and the Hearing Services Program, meaning hundreds and thousands of Australians can use their government funding to purchase our headphones for free right now. We're expanding our technology into the health, music, and gaming sector, and we have a team that is personally and financially committed to making this business a success and to genuinely improving the lives of millions of people. Hearing loss is the leading preventable cause of Alzheimer's disease and is an issue faced by younger and younger generations due to noise-induced hearing loss. There are 1 in 5 teenagers with an identifiable hearing loss, and we've decided to do something about it. Thanks so much for your time.
Well, it's fantastic, James. Thanks very much. That was a great pitch as normal. Personalised sound, medical grade, consumer tech. That's fantastic. Thanks for coming. I'll hand over to the judges now.
James, we're looking for impact. Just how long have you been in business and what's been revenue to date?
So we launched 12 months ago, March 2018, and we've made about $1.5 million in the last 12 months.
And any forecasts for the next 12 months?
Yeah, we're aiming for 4 over the next 12 months as we expand, taking advantage of the NDIS here in Australia and then growing into the US and China as our 2 primary markets.
James, well done. I think what you've delivered sounds really interesting. Have you got capacity and styles and designs for children, or do they come in black, or what's the different styles and deliverables?
So the first product is what you see here, not ruffling any feathers, you know, a one-size-fits-all as proof of the technology, but absolutely kids markets, and then expanding up and down in quality with luxury, aspirational, and ready for young kids. We're actually speaking at schools and taking on the health initiative of encouraging younger generations to care about their hearing, and we'll have products to suit that.
Can I also just ask, another utility would be in a workplace environment where you need to test hearing as part of employment, pre and then post, or maybe annually?
Absolutely,
Yep.
yes. So we have a few boxes to tick on our medical device, but as a screening device, we feel ready to be getting into that process in the next 12 months.
James, I'm very excited because there's going to be more and more people living and in the virtual world rather than the real world, right? So
Absolutely.
This becomes really important. Tell me, how much of this can be repurposed for other uses? And also, is it medical grade testing?
So our technology is not a medical device yet.
Yeah.
We use the principles of medical style testing using threshold testing and pure tone delivery. So we use the same principles as a medical device, but this is not a medical device. Repeat, is for consumer testing. But our technology is the firmware and software application built on a chipset that is inside that headphone, and we can put that chipset into any form factor that generates sound. Yeah, I think it went well. You know, it's hard to condense a life's work into 90 seconds, but I think it was well received and they asked some really great questions. They can see the value from a health point of view, encouraging people to look after their hearing, and also as a business model that's rapidly growing.
Some good feedback there for James. Next up, we have Yasmin from the world's biggest garage sale.
For me, making a difference. Like, what we do makes a massive difference to people. It also has a positive impact on the planet. When you can do those things and still have a sustainable and scalable business model behind it, I mean, it's like you win the lottery. You're doing so much good, and it's an addiction. I'm totally addicted and don't feel like I ever work a day in my life. And even at the start, we were thinking to ourselves, are we a charity? Are we not a charity? Are we profit for purpose? Are we social enterprise? What's our business model? And for us, we were able to spend some time really trying to hack and understand that. And we spoke to so many different mentors and really drew on the startup community. That was transformational for us. And it totally enabled us to build a business model that could make profit and impact and live in this beautiful harmony where you could do good and also make money and ensure you're providing jobs and saving the planet along the way. Like, for us, it's all about the positive impact, but being able to ensure we have a sustainable business so the people we employ today are the people that can stay with our business for as long as they like.
Profit for purpose. Richard Branson says the brands that will thrive in the coming years are those that have purpose beyond profit. The world's biggest garage sale activates dormant goods for good for the $4.5 trillion circular economy. Dormant goods, it's that stuff we all have laying around our houses that we're too busy to sell and we're not donating to charity because we think it's just too good. The world's biggest garage sale has large-scale community events in spaces the size of football stadiums. The community comes together and activates millions of kilograms of goods for a local cause. We have validated our business model not once or twice, but 6 times in the Brisbane community, and we are now ready to scale up and go global. We have strong partnerships with national and international brands. Without any sales team whatsoever, we have 12 locations in our pipeline ready to hold world's biggest garage sales in their own community. Think of TED and the TEDx model, with thousands of events being run across the globe every single year. The world's biggest garage sale is the TEDx of garage sales. We are going to have 1,000 events in the next 5 years run across the globe. How do we make money? It's simple. We take a percentage of revenue from every event. In the startup space, everybody loves a unicorn. Well, we're a different kind of unicorn, a rainbow unicorn, for people, for planet, and profit for purpose.
Oh, it's fantastic, Yaz. Thanks very much. 6 times, that's one marvellous achievement. I love the fact you're going to scale that up and use IT to take this awesome community event all around the world. So with that, I'll hand over to the judges.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks very much, yes. It's really exciting. Startups are exciting, and ones with a purpose are even more exciting to change the world. So could you please expand on the revenue model a little bit?
Yes, so what we tested in the Brisbane community was we were working with a local charity and to try to understand what they wanted from a local event. So instead of having a charity dinner, we have a world's biggest garage sale, and our revenue model is that we take 30% of the revenue and the charity then keeps the remaining percentage and they also pay for the costs out of that 70% that remains. We've tested it and we know it's about 20% costs for things like tables and chairs and just the things you need to hold an event. And so they end up with about 50% of the revenue from the event. And we've validated that with many charities who are really excited to have those events.
Excellent.
Okay, so yeah, I'm interested as well, Yaz, a bit more about that. So if I'm a local mum or dad, I come down, I have a stand, I tell you at the end of the day how much I've sold, and that's part of the revenue I give to you?
No, actually, what happens is a group would apply to hold the event, just like TEDx. So a large group, social enterprise, charity, community, holds the event for a cause that they're really passionate about. So what that does is it brings the community with them. And then the community is the power behind the event. They hold the event and we provide a dashboard, and we actually provide all the technology behind it as well, including a cashless payment solution that we have in partnership with Global Payments.
And what is the cost of operating it from your perspective? So is it quite expensive, or is the tech done now and it's just roll it out wherever you need?
No, our tech has definitely not been a priority. What we do is we have patched it together with existing solutions that are already in the market. So certainly as our scale-up expands, we feel that we can run events right now, probably up to about 100 events with our current technology. We have great partnerships. I mean, when you have Global Payments on the board, then you're pretty happy to be working with an organisation like that. And so what we plan to do is utilise existing technology until it becomes clunky and it slows our business growth down, and then we'll develop our own technology.
So outside of the payments, what other functionality does your platform have?
Well, we basically try and grab all the data from the event as well. So one thing that we've learnt along the way through our validation is that brands are really excited to understand what products are coming back into the second-hand and circular economy. It's really quite invisible right now. But when we get products back in, and certainly big brand names that are coming through as donations, we're capturing that data and able to report that back to the brands so they understand the value of the product and the quantity of things that are coming back. And where it's also really powerful is we can also report back on what doesn't sell. I felt that the judges asked a lot of questions that made me feel like they understood the model, and they understood how we scale, and they understood also how we make money as we grow.
Welcome back to RiverPitch. The competition is heating up, and next we have Dan from Rila.
I think we just live in a very exciting time. There's a lot of change going on around us, and that seems to be getting faster and quicker. That doesn't seem to be slowing down. And I think it's about embracing that change and turning that change into something that's positive, inventing things. The difference between inventing things and innovating is actually innovation is about getting into people's hands. So I love people using the stuff that our teams create. I was in university when people just started talking about the internet and the information superhighway, and I could already see that that was going to be a huge game changer, even though initially it was kind of quite a slow ramp up. So, you know, that's why tech is so important to me as it evolves, because the rate of change is, you know, is almost exponential, which is really even more exciting and much more accessible. You don't need to be a hardcore programmer to, embrace technology, right?
Hi everyone, my name's Dan, co-founder of Rila. So you know how buying real estate is really hard. Well, imagine that you're buying off the plan is even harder because you're looking at real estate that physically doesn't exist yet. In Australia, the off-the-plan residential market is worth $70 billion. So if you're a first-time home buyer or an investor, you're completely dependent on a flat 2D floor plan. It is a flat 2D floor plan that determines everything about what you buy, what you build, and what's eventually lived in. So what we do is help people visualize property before it's built. With our app, our customers can walk through life size and visualize what it is they're actually buying. The amazing thing about that is that they can also put it on the piece of land that they want to buy and build on, which, as you can see, is completely incredible. It uses only a smartphone, and because we connect the customers with the real views, they start to emotionally engage with what it is they're actually buying. In fact, not only do we have monthly subscribers, but we're also working with Colliers International, who see the value of their customers being able to visualize product before it's built and close the gap between buyer understanding and customer sales. In the US, platforms like House are already increasing their customer sales by 11x with their AR apps. So we're really excited by that. We're looking for investors who not only can advise, but also open doors and connect us and partner with those kind of real estate marketplaces. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Well done. Get it all out. Awesome product, great total addressable market, $70 billion, and it's a real pain point. So I'm really keen to hear how the judges interrogate you on this one.
Dan, well done.
Thank you.
Obviously, lots to get out in 90 seconds, so I think you've done a great job at that. Applicability in the commercial space, so on a commercial floor plan, it can still be utilised?
Yes, our go-to-market is very much focused on residential because where we make most sense right now is by connecting that customer with the actual piece of land that they want to buy and build on. But yes, we're also talking to commercial customers, but our go-to-market is very much focused at the moment on residential.
And could you do a half existing dwelling and then the plans for an extension, and would your technology be applicable?
We've tried that. It doesn't work very well at the moment. It's a technology limitation with the GPS on mobile devices, but we certainly are looking at that for the future.
Okay, great.
Dan, you touched on some of your competitors overseas. What does the competition look like for you in this space?
Yeah, the competition is very interesting. Most of it's indirect, so there are services companies who are doing bespoke AR things. There are companies out there doing projectors in warehouses, but most importantly, actually in the enterprise space, what they actually currently do, the thing that we're competing against the most, is the real estate agent driving to a block of dirt and pacing around, painting the floor and telling people this is what they need to buy.
Dan, I'm keen to understand, how do you convert two-dimensional into the tech that you have?
Yeah, that's part of the magic. So we actually use artificial intelligence. So we've got a machine learning platform that does two things. The first one actually converts a 2D floor plan into a life-size model. And then what we have is an AR seeker that goes around and renders that model according to the light sources, like an outdoor window. So it's pretty incredible.
Having knocked down and rebuilt myself just in the last 12 months and having a walk-in wardrobe that I couldn't walk down, I really like what you're doing.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think they received it really well. They connected with it. One of the judges talked about his experience with home building, so that was really exciting.
Well, it looks like our judges are going to have a tough time sorting out the elimination tonight. And our final contestant this evening is Alex from Canary.
The reason why is that we always set out to do something that would save people's lives. And it really is quite emotionally hard going when you're going out and you're conducting your user feedback interviews and you're trying to do your market research. Because we had a peripheral knowledge that the problem that we were solving was a big problem in the resources sector, and there were quite a lot of fatalities coming out of it. But it's another thing to have to go from interview to interview with frontline mining workers who actually knew, so either they all knew one person or had a close friend or a close friend who had died because of a serious incident at the wheel of a vehicle or from a disaster that was probably caused by extreme exhaustion from the industry. And yeah, sitting there talking to people who have lost loved ones over their lives. And this isn't just, cool gadget for them. This is actually, this could be life-changing, and I've tried other solutions in the past and they haven't worked. And it's not, oh, what kind of cool thing can I get from this? What's my return on investment if I'm purchasing? It's, I don't want another one of my friends to die.
What would a miner's canary look like in the era of space travel? 2 miners in Australia die every month from accidents caused by cognitive fatigue. When a serious incident occurs, this costs mining oil and gas companies 15 to 25 million, alongside months of productivity losses. Originally designed for NASA, the ergonomic medical-grade Canary earpiece uses cutting-edge machine learning to predict cognitive fatigue and heat exhaustion based on vital signs. The accompanying analytics software helps to improve site management. Canary's unique selling point is accuracy and reliability. In an environment where people's lives are at stake, we are the only company developing patented equipment to medical device standards. Where other solutions send alerts during incidents, Canary earpiece predicts and prevents. Our target Australian user base is 480,000, with 24 million mining users worldwide. With 2 global competitors using radically different solutions, we are the first new company in our field in 13 years. Monopoly opportunities exist in the Middle East and in Northern Europe, with low barriers to launch in Chile and Canada. The big play is the licensing of our predictive algorithms to multinational medical device companies. We've undertaken a project with Origin and are currently running a pilot with the University of Cambridge. Whilst Canary is 12 months to hard launch, we already have 16 major resources companies in our client pipeline. Thank you.
Great.
Alex, powerful presentation as always. Thanks very much. It's refreshing to see someone willing to take on a hardware business, especially in the resource sector. So with that, I'll pass you over to the judges.
Thank you.
Alex, in terms of the hardware, are you manufacturing the earpiece where?
Probably going to be Shenzhen or Singapore, but we're actually 12 months away from manufacture. So the way that we're structuring is that we are using a typical lean methodology. So we're doing pilots right now in the field where we actually haven't gone to manufacture yet. We're still about 4 iterative prototypes away from going to hard manufacture. So you want to make sure we're building the right thing and we're not accidentally dropping 5 million on a product that no one actually wants.
And in terms of the data, so you've captured some data, is it going back to Canary or back to the purchaser?
Oh, it's actually both. So we have a split in the stream. So you imagine that the data is coming from the earpiece. That will then go to our secure servers via a Wi-Fi connection, and then it splits. So there'll be a display for the control rooms in the mining oil or gas company, and it also goes into our data lake, which is used exclusively for Canary research, but also R&D. So we let our research partners like the University of Cambridge and the University of Oxford access that. Oh, and the European Space Agency as well. The point being that we don't sell our data to insurance companies, but we do have an open access lake for research institutes specifically to improve their medical findings, really.
Alex, what risk does the business have in relation to other wearables that people have today and that technology moving forward at a rapid pace?
Absolutely. The biggest risk that we have is a misunderstanding of what we're developing versus what has come before us. We are not a consumer product. Fitbit has 27% inaccuracy with all of its readings, which means you cannot make predictive systems like we can. So we're aiming for more like less than 1% inaccuracy with our reading. So it's all medical technologies and we're building everything to medical device standards. So we'll end up with FDA and CE approval. So this allows us to end up with real-time systems, which will have a buzz alert in the earpiece and also the analytics for a control room, which allows a real-time buzz when something is about to go wrong. About 10 minutes beforehand is what we're aiming for at the moment, which seems achievable.
Thanks, Alex. Feels like sci-fi coming to reality. Super exciting. Have you done any research with that sort of device in a workplace and how the workers would actually react to something like that?
Yeah, we have actually. I've just come back from a site visit to a gold mine actually doing in-the-field research and work with workers there preparing for a major pilot. What we found is what's been missing in the past is the education piece and the training, like the soft skills that accompany the technology. Because without that, we're only creating gadgets and we're not in the business of creating gadgets, we're in the business of solving problems. I actually found a really higher than I expected user acceptance for developing. Because we got there on the field, we were just talking to people, they knew what we were doing, we explained everything from data privacy, how we handle that, right the way through to what your day is like, how are you, like what are you used to in terms of just your life experience in general. I was really pleased with the questions that I got because that was exactly what I was hoping to get, what I was expecting to get. Tough questions about how our system works, what the data stream is like. So it's good to be encountering judges who really do know what they're talking about and asking intelligent questions respectively.
Okay, so that was our final pitch for this evening. Fantastic work from all of our contestants. Up next, we will find out who is going through to the finale. Welcome back to RiverPitch. So, we have heard from all the contestants. It is now time for the judges to weigh up their decision.
So, Steve, you spent a lot of time with each of the founders. Could you just share with us their readiness and their stage of commercialisation?
Yeah, no worries, Andrew. Look, if I was to sum up their readiness and their status in the market, it would be, first up would be Cordera. James on the Cordera team are fantastic. Next would be a close tie between, but definitely world's biggest garage sale with Yaz would be next, closely followed by Rila with Dan. And then given the amount of the stage that I think Canary is at and the fact they've still got that prototype out there, they're pretty far behind. A big, juicy problem, but they're a very long way behind.
Thank you. Siobhan, who stood out for you?
Look, I think it's so impressive. Each participant, to be honest, everything they've done to build up their own personal piece. I quite liked what Yasmin was doing, particularly that, you know, getting the goods around full usage rather than waste, and particularly for charities, which was great. Love the Cordera, you know, headpieces. Definitely everyone wears them, having better sound, you know, issues with disability, income, all those things in the marketability, big ticks. But I work personally in the mortgage space and the housing space, so Rila had great, I thought, utility. Definitely, I mean, you've got scales and models that housing developments tend to do, but having the ability to walk on your land and do that, you know, people would find that impressive. And Canary, gosh, Alex was amazing. Really passionate, clearly saving lives if it gets to market. Lots more to be done, though, I think, around the testing and building the prototype, which, but, you know, not lacking in energy or commitment. So, yeah, look, it's a tough one. I'm not sure.
Johan, for you?
All four presenters were really, really good. I really liked the Cordera one. I think it really stood out for me. The market readiness, I agree with what Steve said. It was very clear in the presentation too.
Excuse the pun.
That's right. And I think they really came out with a clear business model and a finance model. So to me, they were the forerunners.
I think for me there was two sizzle presentations and two steak presentations.
Yeah.
So lots of sizzle with Canary and with Rila.
Yes.
The meat in the business, I think, really was in Cordera and World's Biggest Garage Sale. There was real meat in the bone of those businesses.
That's right. I think Yas was very good too, but in terms of, I still need to really understand the product a lot more. It looks like it's a business model that's being sold, but I mean, what's stopping people from going there and copying that model and running with it? So apart from the brand name in itself, what else are they selling? So that to me,
it's scalable, but it's easily replicated.
Google was the 167th search engine in the world, but it won. So I'm a bit jaded on the whole, well, they can be copied easy. Well, who cares? Anything can. If you've got a bit of a sales velocity, you've got a bit of a business velocity, you can usually overcome that. And Yaz has got the velocity to overcome most things. So, yeah.
It looks like a tough call for the judges, with Yaz from the world's biggest garage sale, who's trying to scale up to 1,000 events worldwide. Dan from Rila, who is looking to build his team with investment. There's James from Cordera, who's after funding, and Alex from Canary, who's after brand awareness. But of course, there can only be two. So let's take you back to the studio to find out who is going through to the finals.
Crew, thank you so much. They were some outstanding pitches and some really exciting businesses. Big kudos to Steve. I can see that you've worked really hard and really nailed it with where you were focusing on the market. And thanks to Johan and Siobhan too, we had a really tough time. But as you know, we can only send two through. What we were focused on was scalable business and ones that were at the higher end of commercialisation at this stage. Who can make the biggest impact in the next 12 months? With nothing further to do, I would say that the two going through are Cordera and the world's biggest garage sale.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
Well done.
Gosh. Thank you.